Here it is, boys. This is the week. You're going to want to quickly get into raid this week before you start your heroic progression, whatever you're doing. Go do LFR, go do normal clear, and get that 2.25% bonus. That's right. All you got to do is kill 8 more bosses this week to get that 8 more pieces of Nurubar Finery, and then you can get your 2.25% buff. Now, you might be saying, oh, Sam, why 2.25? I thought it was 3. Yes, it was originally 3, data mine, different numbers here, but the final... Oh my god, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. The blorps are still on. Blorps are still on. I gotta pause that. Who's in here? Burning Viking? Yes. As I was saying, the 2.25% is the final number. This is a stacking number, so now going forward, every other week, if you continue to kill 8 bosses a week, you will get 2.25% buffed on top of yourself. That's 2.25% healing and damage buffs. So that is basically a soft nerf on the raid. So continue to do so, continue to get the kills, and continue to get stronger going forward here. Also this week, this is a 4 dungeon clear, get a piece of heroic gear week. Okay, every week this quest changes. This week it's going to be clear out 4 dungeons, no matter what the difficulty. I believe it's normal, heroic, or mythic. Yep, and get yourself a piece of heroic gear from the cache. Also, if this is one of your first 2 caches, you're also going to get another coffer key, so that's good if you're doing delves. Xaloteth's Oblivion is this week's little caster thing. So, you know, the little add-on to your mythic keys. This is actually one of the better ones. I enjoy this one. Just catch the orbs. That's all you got to do. Use your asshole, absorb the orb. Don't let it get to the enemies, and if you do that, you will get the buff, which is pretty good. Now, this buff has been changed this week, believe it or not, so I'm going to get into that real quick. We got some hotfixes that went into effect yesterday during reset, and this is one of the changes that happened. So with Oblivions, these crystals, and by the way, now if you have all the enemies killed, will now just kind of move towards you. That's basically an easy, you know, buff there. You're just going to catch the orbs because they're moving towards you, so that's pretty good. Also, when Xaloteth's Bargain is the Voidbound version, this has been changed so that way now it gives 20% versatility and 30% cooldown reduction. This used to give a 50% cooldown reduction and 15% increased healing received. Now, people have kind of looked at this, I guess parsed it out a little bit. Some of the numbers have been run, and this is actually a better buff than the 50% cooldown reduction. The versatility buff basically allows you to burn shit down quicker, and then the 30% cooldown reduction on top of that, yeah, you're just going to become like a quick killing mob, you know, machine. I like this better than the 15% healing increase. That really wasn't that useful after you got through the Voidbound Bargain. A lot of times all the mobs were dead, and that 15% healing didn't really matter that much in terms of, you know, getting that next mob down. So the 20% verse and cooldown, that's much better. Looking at some of the stuff happening in Raid, there are changes, and the main changes are Silken Court. Oh, no. If you watched stream yesterday, you know what happened at Silken Court. All I have to say is 0.17% just before reset hit. One of the most painful things I've ever been through in my life. But anyways, Burning Rage and Void Degeneration can now stack up to 4. It was 3 before triggering the death mechanic, so that's good. You can take more of those before dying. The mote of Unrelenting Rage and the mote of Overwrouth Paranoia now detonate after 20 seconds. It was 15, so you got more times to deal with that as well. And then Spike Storm will no longer fail to cast when you bring the boss to the center of the room. That was an issue where you could bring the beetle boss to the middle, and he wouldn't cast the spike shit. Yeah, I don't know how players figure this shit out, but we truly are degenerates and find every nook and cranny on how to bypass mechanics in the fight. That's no longer going to work. Blizzard's putting out a sale. If you're into buying shit, you want to go ahead and get these things 50% off. Blizzard's putting 50% off up until October 31st for all kinds of transmogs and toys. Let's check this out. You want to get yourself the Murloc backpack, that's fine. You could do that. The Starboy transmog here, go ahead, 50% off. The Horned Crown, 50% off. You want to be a Dreadlord, transmogger, go ahead, 50% off. The Featherboy, Fireboy transmog, 50% off. The Moonguard After Dark Murloc costume, 50% off. The Pride Wings, 50% off. The I Want to Be a Pirate, but I Like Pillows on My Shoulders, 50% off. My Wings Never Hit Puberty, 50% off. The Murloc toys here, also 50% off. Great. The Identity Crisis Beacon, 50% off. What is this? The I Live in Florida Hearthstone Hurricane, 50% off as well. And last but not least, the Sands of Time Hearthstone effect as well. Also 50% off. So any of these that you want, you can go ahead and get them up until October 31st. You'll be able to get all this stuff 50% off. But that's not all. That's not all Blizzard wants you to do. They want you to spend more money. Get yourself that 12-month sub. Why is that? Well, there's the new 12-month sub mount. And here it is. It's not only that, you're actually getting 4 mounts. 4 mounts across, World of Warcraft Retail and Classic. These are the 4 mounts you're going to get. You're also going to get 2 pets that are hidden currently right now. I don't know what that means. It's like a hint at some lore coming or something. It looks like a snake. I've been looking at this for a while and I can't figure out what it is. It looks like some kind of snake. I'm not sure what that means, what that could be. But obviously it's something that they don't want to show us just yet. The other mounts are all older mounts that we've seen before in the game, but this one is the new one. It's known as the Star-Touched Fur Line. Absolutely glorious. I mean, look at this. Now, interesting, getting into star stuff and Burning, thank you for the 100 bits, man. Hey, Scotland made it longer than 2.2 seconds. Yes, it did. Yeah, it did. I'm just saying embrace your inner Scotland. Yeah, well, we all do forcefully thanks to the bits being first. Thank you for the 200 bits, man. I appreciate that. The interesting part about this is the theme behind it, right? Sometimes these themes mean something. This is all very voidy and starry looking. This mount does look pretty cool. I like the animations. Oh, it's got like a floor beneath it too of star stuff. This is pretty cool. Obviously, this is a dynamic mount. This is going to be flying, riding, everything else you'll be able to do. Pretty cool looking mount. And you also get the other ones that are included as well. So that's pretty nice with your 12-month sub. Moving on to the final thing here, the DPS charts. Big Dick DPS is here, and it's time to look at the post-hero talent changes DPS charts. Here they are. Let's look at overall damage, and my god, Enhancement Shaman has been enhanced to the max. Look at this thing. Posting out, bursting out, beating everybody now. We are in the age of the Shaman. I've been saying it all expansion, and it continues to be proven right. Enhancement Shaman, now number 1. Arcane Mage, number 2 here. Frost DK coming up behind at number 3. And then Retribution Paladin, number 4. Rounding out the top 4 there. Marksmanship Hunter in the top 5. So those are your top 5. You got Ass Rogue and Outlaw Rogue doing much better now. Rogue was in complete shit. Looks like they made a comeback after the hero talent changes, looking much better. Beast Mastery Hunter also sandwiched between those 2 rogues, something you'd probably seen late night on a server. Havoc Demon Hunter, Elemental Shaman, Fire Mage, Unholy DK, all coming in here. And then let's look at the bottom. Augmentation, obviously always hard to track. Affliction Warlock sitting down here, not doing too well. The best Warlock spec is Demonology, and it's only mid-tier right now. Fire Mage, Sub-Titty Rogue, Furry Warrior, Destro Warlock, all sitting here at the bottom. Windwalker Monk, all not doing too well, but hey, not everybody can be at the top. Someone has to be a bottom, of course. Moving on to boss damage. This is, your single target, how you going to do in raid, and Enhancement Shaman. Not only do they enhance the raid's DPS or melee DPS, you put them in the right group, they're just enhancing everything at this point. Look at that. Look at those numbers. When's the last time we saw a Shaman spec sitting at the top of the DPS charts? I think it's been quite a while. Sitting there at the very, very top by a decent margin, actually. Enhancement Shaman, Arcane Mage, and Enhancement Shaman sitting both same as they were before. Ass Rogue, Beast Mastery Hunter, Retribution Paladin, Arms Warrior, all doing really good on single target damage. The Hunter's great right now. Look at this. Survival, Marksmanship, and Beast Mastery, all sitting there in the top 10. All 3 specs extremely viable. All 3 specs doing really good. So it's a great time to be a hunter. Unless you're doing a countdown timer, then it's a shitty time because you're probably going to pull before that shit actually hits 0. Shadow Priest, Outlaw Rogue, Feral Druid, all doing pretty good too. Sitting here at the bottom, Furry Warrior. Now, Furry basically is going to be good at AoE, not good at anything else, and even the AoE damage has been nerfed a bit. I've seen Furry Warriors still pop off. They are furries after all, so they should be still, enraged in anger towards anything that looks humanoid-esque, but the issue is they've really been nerfed pretty damn hard, and it's sad to see because they were previously the kings of AoE. Frost Mage, Windwalker Monk, Frost DK, Balanced Druid, rounding out the bottoms there. Havoc Demon Hunter not doing too well either. Let's see the big movements. So this is all the movements that happened post-buffs to hero talents. This is what this all shows right now. So let's see how this all looks. The biggest mover up was Ass Rogue and Outlaw Rogue. I told you guys, Rogue, huge changes here. Look at this. 15 spots up and 16 spots up for these 2 Rogue specs. The biggest movers up by far. in this recent changes to hero talents. Also, Demo Warlock moved up 10 spots. That's good. They were in Elo Hell. Now they're mid-tier, basically. Let's see who the biggest mover down was. Fire Mage. Yeah, Fire Mage was the biggest mover down at 10 spots. They took a bit of a hit, but Arcane's doing great. So, I mean, who would be sad, to play Mage right now? Probably nobody. The other biggest mover down next up would be Sub-Titty Rogue. Yeah, 8 spots down. Affliction Warlock also 8 spots down there. So overall, a lot of movement on this chart as we expected with these changes. Obviously, these things will continue to balance out. We know there's more changes coming with 11.0.5, so if you don't like where your class currently stands, just wait another week and things might change. But as they stand right now, these are your current DPS numbers.